Yo, what up, what up, what up? I praise to the Most High, man. Got a few things to address today, to the nation, to the people. Alright, we got a lot of things going on, especially when you bringing in, or with me working on bringing in the Byzantine Empire, excuse my hair. Really just doing a natural approach right now. But when you have so much going on, especially if we're talking on a wealth level, for a ministerial standpoint, if a person has been in ministry all their life, then it's a certain amount of money, whether they've gotten it or not, that's automatically theirs. So in some areas that, like, if they go to seize things that is that person's, they have to give that stuff back. It's unlawful because they already have not paid for what the services that that's already been rendered to them. So there's a lot of, like, when you really look at the parameters and the information that goes on throughout basically throughout the world, especially on like the level, the United States of America owes like a lot of people within the United States as well as out. You know what I'm saying? So, say for instance, it's like a bishop or a pastor, or I'm saying a priest, or however it is. You know what I'm saying? So you put in this time, you put in this work, you do all these things, right? You acquire all of these houses, cars, money, and then what they don't tell you is, like, when they go to seize this stuff, is that's your stuff. Because within the amount of money, that's either collateral within the collateral, or that's within the standings. But even with that being said, that's still, it's still like your stuff is non-negotiable. It's not in an area that it can be seized, because it's not like, even when you're looking at that, like, you like, I don't know if y'all know this, but ministers and people of the cloth and the church and all of that, they work for the government. You know what I'm saying? So, like, if you don't know this, like, let me let you know, like, they work for the government. Whether they hooked up to the government system or not, like, they are pretty much what you would call government workers. The whole entire system is one system. It's really not in parts. When you look at the when you kind of look at the Byzantine Empire and how they did things, and then you kind of like map it to what the United States is doing, then the fact that they use the bird and all these other things, there's areas like, say for instance, even if it's, let's say you got a pope or a king that has a bunch of kids, you know what I'm saying? Um, Regardless, each child is taken care of because they're given X amount of money. So it's not a situation where they're not taken care of, they don't have the money. Um, it's more of a situation of like how everything is set up, what's the display. Right now we playing a game of chess, and like, so they going after like people that got money. That, not saying they want, pretty much you dealing with a situation where they may be going to like X them people out because of the money that they have. And then on top of that, it's money that you have that you don't even know you have, that you acquired throughout time based on whatever it is. So that's one of the reasons, like, if you ever met like an islander or somebody that wasn't from here, a lot of times they'll tell you, like, they'll ask you, they'll be like, why you broke? Why you in this situation? They know that when we're born with a certain amount of money and all these other things. So when they killing folks, and they saying like basically XYZ is money on their head, they have so much money that has been already invested in them. That's one of the reasons that the United States is what it is. So, like, when I'm doing my business and I'm bringing in the Byzantine Empire, of course, I'm not stupid to be like, I'm going against the United States of America and I was born and raised here. You know what I'm saying? That's like saying that, you know what I'm saying, that's pretty much like saying that like I'm giving up all my protection. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it became like Byzantine Empire, USA, International. But it's something I had to like touch on because it's like in areas that we not supposed to be, like we really cannot be touching these areas, even to the point if they go into making, listen to me closely here, even if they go to the point of making up laws or trying to make things harder. That's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not actually lawful. That's basically they going through the way of a pen. They're going through the way of like, you know what I'm saying? You want to say like some people say pencil whipping you. So when you're dealing with the hood don't like we don't like all of us are not grown up to look at laws like that. All of us not grown up to look at paperwork that way. If we hear paperwork, then first thing they normally think is gonna be you a cop. You know what I'm saying? So you can be doing paperwork for your house, for your community, or whatever. So now we got this thing right now of like it ain't even a Lives Matter. It's supposed to be like the Black movement or whatever. Basically comprising the money within the Black communities to, I would say, to recreate Black Wall Street, if you will. But there's a lot going on when you dealing with the two. You know what I'm saying? You want to say black, you want to say white. Those are like that's a group of people. So even if they're black, they're rainbow colored. You know what I'm saying? If they white, they rainbow colored. But for the most part, when you get into the black excellence, that's the actual royal house. So that's the official like royal house. So that's like the entire I think 20 I think it's 27, 26, 26 royal families or whatever. That's basically the ones that's actually known. And then you have like when I looked it up, I had to put in like the black royalty or whatever. And then it brought up like a whole nother group or whatnot. But a lot of times when you see that, it's set a certain way. So I kind of understand like why it's set that way. But when it come down to like money and assets, they attack those things because it's like we're in a place where we don't know or don't understand how the money work. We don't understand how the U.S. Investing in their people. We don't understand how much money is in, let's say, a house or in land or in a car. And if a certain person has all of that, then we as a group of people, like that person might have enough money to double or triple whoever's trying to come against him to pay everybody. You know what I'm saying? But instead of being loyal, they'll go after the little couple million, 4, 5 million, instead of, you know what I'm saying, staying true and staying focused like where we need to be. And honestly, the way the system really is, it's only one system. Even if you're on the streets, it's still one system. If you're in the White House, it's one system. If you're in a royalty, it's one system. All of that is one system. They not really separated. They one system. You know what I'm saying? One group of people really runs all of it because it's a left, a right, and a middle. And it's like that's for dominance. So it's really not a situation that you're looking at where we like if you losing money and stuff like that. Now, when we're doing what we're doing and we're moving forward and then the money's coming in or being donated, like you got a lot of things going on when you got them jumping from like one state to another state or one state to another country. Like that's a lot of money. It's a lot in trade and goods and all of that. So when you get into those areas, so if we gonna do that, it's like we gotta have an overall system. And then on top of that, how is it gonna be beneficial for everybody? You can't just be going to take somebody, you know what I'm saying, like, touch not my anointed, do my prophet no harm. If that prophet actually worked for his money and did overtime and did everything God told him to do, and you went and you stole money from him, and i.e., like, if he broke, then that's like stealing from God. Like, y'all don't know that. But when God put you in position, or God give you a position, or God put you in a place, if y'all go out your way to do that man harm or do things against that man, like, there's certain things within the Bible when it talks about there was a certain person that was like shunned or whatever. But it got to the point where it was like, if you touch him, basically something will happen to you. So that's why a lot of times when I'm dealing with people, I don't wish no bad on nobody. Like, that's between them and God. But when it come down to money and you done did this work and you putting in this time, you doing this, and some people feel like, I ain't never understood this. Some people feel like you got to go through what I went through to get here and give me that. What? Like, you don't know what process I got to get here. I'm not exactly doing the same thing you doing. That's why you really don't fully understand. Like, a lot of people that I may work with that know what I'm saying. They, you know what I'm saying? When you're building an empire, you setting a perimeter, and then now you are branching out, and it's like it's a full set. And then we got things set with whatever is going on. If the police pulling over somebody, we got people there to make sure that the police is protected as well as we protected. So it's like a double, you know what I'm saying? It's like a double protection type thing. Um, but when you're talking about assets and money, of course, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to go after assets. And then if you got a lot of people around you that don't have a lot of money, then they're going to try to use them to get to you. You know what I'm saying? And then when you running all these things, it's like somebody has to step up and be like, it's not actually lawful to be taking that man's money because he worked this long for that. Like, that's not lawful. Even if he switches or goes into, like, say for instance, his kingdom, that means he's done whatever acquired situation that it was that he was supposed to do for X amount of time. That's his payment. So even if it's more, even if this dude is the richest man in the world, you cannot touch his money because that's his money that he worked for, that he did all these things. And if he had not have been here to do these things, God knows where all of y'all would be at right now. But they don't look at it like that. Like, it's like within the 48 laws. There's some areas where they say do not, it talks about do not outshine a master. I'm like, we only got one master, and that's God. You know what I'm saying? Even the person that teaches you, that's backwards to me. That's like an area where they put that there simply to, you know what I'm saying, keep confusing amongst, I would say, the blacks or the, you know what I'm saying. I'm going to say that because we are people that, like, we don't have a lot, and then we finally get to an area, and then when we're doing our thing, and it starts to outcloud, like an elder or somebody, they supposed to really get behind you and push you like a prodigy or something. Like, they're supposed to push you to that level, making sure you get your money, making sure everything that you're trying to do is being done the way it's supposed to be done. But it's like becomes opposite because of these fake laws that they set up. You know what I'm saying? So you got these 48 laws, like, I understand them, but that don't really, you know what I'm saying, that don't really make sense. So when you're dealing with the nation, you're dealing with the people, and then, you know what I'm saying, I'm bringing in the Byzantine Empire. When you look at that, it's depicted as God, basically God's empire, like his dynasty, you know what I'm saying? So as I make the approach and I'm paying attention, now I'm like, okay, now they're specifically targeting people. Like, if you running track and you miss something, like, we got coronavirus going on right now, first of all. So God knows where you really, like, where different people are. They could be with family, they could be here, they could be there. You can't be going to people's houses at this time. Like, even with that, that's kind of like, even for the people that come out to test, You know what I'm saying? Like, really and truthfully, if it's gonna be on a level like that, yo, you need to call them, contact them, email them, or whatever, and they need to come to a control point, because that's not healthy for them, for you to just be coming up, because they don't know what you got, you don't know what they got, you ain't get tested before you walked in their house, or can't, like, everything got to be in a control point. So we not gonna just sit up here and allow y'all to just make up laws to, you know what I'm saying, cut people money just because y'all are trying to keep control of something that is like this in God's hand. When it come down to the money, the people that got the most money in the world is really behind us in the whole situation. So it's not a situation where, you know what I'm saying, like this person owes the United States of America. Like y'all owe a lot of us. And it's like that's one of the reasons why like the Byzantine Empire is coming in, because like there has to be a bailout. These people ready to blow up everything. Even within the United States of America, it has to be, you know what I'm saying, a certain level of order, but it has to be a certain level of respect. So respect came through God. So when you doing these things and we moving this way, like even with me and what I'm doing, like yeah, it was tried to be used, or somebody tried to say it to be like against, you know what I'm saying, the USA. But when you look at it, that's a bird, the bald eagle. And then if you looking at Africa or a couple other the continents, that's another bird, two-headed bird, which is the Byzantine Empire, or Turkey, which is where Byzantine was once was. That everything basically derived from there, and they used to rule within trade. So that's how like a lot of the people got around the world through that central point. So when we are a nation, and now we got a nation, now we got a royal council again, now we got royal government, now we have foot soldiers, now we have special forces, now we have like everybody's getting in their spot, everybody getting in their place. So we're not in a place where we're in a situation where it's like the jobs and stuff that we go for. It's like you go to school, then you go here, then they go off for your credentials or whatever. Sometimes they're not even going off of that. They're going off of who you are and what stat. Like it's a whole different form that they actually go off of. So that's why, you know what I'm saying, the elder was talking about earlier that we have to, you know what I'm saying, push our companies basically. But when you hit the royalty and you amongst the house of the royalty and you got all the people within there, then all the money is going into the royal house and then it's being spread out. That's a little bit different because you got who God has basically sent and basically on down from there. So then it becomes secluded. So it's certain areas that happened in the past that now it can't happen that same way because everything is under one. So everything is under Emmanuel. So that means every form of religion is under that. So it's not a situation where you got to go to the Crusaders for help. You have to go to these people for help. You have to go to these people for help. That's all one system. That's all one superpower. So when you really think of so if you look at the United States and their allies, and then to the right you would see, let's say, the Holy Army, which is all those allies and all those peoples in a complete set of you know what I'm saying, basically a royal monarch within the United States of America that basically operates or move like kind of like in an alternate universe, but they move around. So you pretty much probably see them or move around them all the time. You just not able to tell who they are. Other than that, that's pretty much where we are right now. So everything else is focusing, moving forward, assets, protecting our homes, protecting our businesses, protecting our people. Like you need the economy for that. You need your own money and stuff for that. You can't. I said this before. You can't win. Like it's harder to win using their system because they system they may have designed. It's some people's systems are designed for them to always win. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of weird because their system is the Byzantine system or part of it anyway. So it's like them trying to use our system against us, that we know our system better than they know our system. So it's like a saying that somebody said before, as I come to a close, they'll run out of land before we run out of money type situation. Even when they trying to do this, like it's time for like our lawyers, our elders, and then in some cases, this ain't even no lawyer and elder. Some places it's just more like stand up, and you gonna have to use your army to like our army to like actually shut that down. When you within the USA, like we have a holy realm. So when you over here, then even all of them, everybody is pretty much depicted under God. So that's why that's set that way. But it just was, you know what I'm saying, kind of maybe hush hush.